they might have to pay for the remaining coverage if they extended it to their partners. I don't know about that. I don't know about any of that because I can't make an accurate, conscientious, responsible, conservative decision about where our finances are then because we don't have the data. As I said, today, I couldn't support it based on what I've told you. But I guess after stating my positions on all those, at the same time, I don't think any policy that has been formulated or firmed by any prior commissioner or commissioners or boards should deprive me or you or any of the rest of our colleagues the opportunity to seek information and receive it from my administrator. So let me make my second to your motion very clear. My second to your motion at this point is about policy and changing policy. As times change, we also should change our policies, simply to allow this board, that commissioner, any commissioner, to allow them the opportunity to have Ms. Bean, Ms. Lee, or anybody else weigh in on policies that we have to look at and revisit, sometimes for the first time, sometimes to revisit, as is this one. So if you are saying exclusively, your motion is extracting any of the other issues that many people in this audience are emotional about, if you're just asking for support, for an opportunity to look at old policies, not be strapped by being prohibited from getting a lack of information, then I'm supportive of it. If it brings in anything else, then Kevin, between me and you, timing is wrong. So if you want to restate that, then I will support it, but I need to have a clarification on the record.
All right, Commissioner Sharp's next, and then
I'm sorry, that's fine. At the time that he...
Okay. Commissioner Sharp.
And I think this is pretty clear. I wasn't here when the board passed the previous motion. And oftentimes language would be attached expressing, and again, not defending or justifying the motion of 2004, but it was my sense that Commissioner Storm was probably saying, now that the vote's done, the county administrator is not going to spend any more time on this issue. Let's move on. We're not bound, this board can ask for anything. We're now addressing the issue. We're not, we're not prevented from discussing the issue. I can sit down with staff and at any time ask questions about benefits, what we think, how many people might do it. The only way we can go beyond knowing, other than the evidence of other governments, that the preponderance of people who take part in extended partnership benefits are heterosexual partners. So this issue really is clearly an issue of extending benefits to heterosexual partners, predominantly heterosexual partners, and extending benefits at a time when everyone else is cutting back on benefits. For me, this is real simple. If we want staff to go study it, we ask them to go study it. We can ask them to study anything.
But they cannot do it on this one.
Well,
I was told we can't even do that.
But herein lies the problem. That's what you want to do now. At a time when, as you said, timing, finance, I think that it's absolutely wrong. The signal that we're sending at the time when we're sitting here in the middle of an economic crisis is that we're going to figure out ways to expand government benefits. I'm adamantly opposed. I don't care what type of benefits we're talking about. At this time, we're dealing with firefighter issues. We're dealing with so many others who are going to be coming before this board and asking for more and making very eloquent cases as to why they deserve additional benefits. We cannot afford additional benefits. And so for us to say, now go out and study the extension of benefits is not logical. And to suggest that it's not going to cost any more money when we know that the average cost of an individual being insured is approximately $12,000, give or take. Let's just say it's $6,000, but it's more expensive than each year. In fact, it increases by 12%. So we're going to add cost to the county budget at the very time that our administrator has spoken to the directors and said, we are cutting back and we're asking you to find new ways to reduce your spending. And for me, it is a spending issue, period. So I think that this is an irresponsible thing to be doing at a time when the president himself, as I've said, is making it very clear we have to tighten our belts and cut back. And so I will not support the motion.
Okay, Commissioner Beckner, please clarify the motion for Commissioner Ferlita, then Commissioner Ferlita, and then we need to move on. We're behind on three times certains right now.
Now, and let me make crystal clear that I am not bringing forward again any type of proposals. I am not asking the commission to approve any type of plans. At this state, all we're doing, in fact, I will tell you this, that all we want, and then all I'm making really crystal clear, is that we, as a board, have the ability to make future decisions without having our hands tied. I'm not going to be coming back to the board next month. I'm not going to be coming back to the board at any certain period of time to revisit this issue. Let me just restate my motion for Commissioner Ferlita so it's very, very clear. I would like to make a motion to rescind the board directive made on April 7, 2004 that forbids the county administrator and staff from studying or researching the issue of domestic partnership benefits now or in the future by current or future county administrator and staff, period. No talk of other benefits am I entering into this motion at this time. We are just allowing future boards to revisit this, or any one of us, when a time when we feel it's more appropriate to revisit this. We are not doing this or implementing a plan at this time.
Commissioner Flito?
Mr. Sharp, maybe I didn't make my position clear. I agree with you wholeheartedly in terms of the financial crisis we're in. I could not support any additional benefits that this county government would have to absorb for anybody. I don't care what their preferences are. It's not an issue about that. All I'm saying is, oftentimes, somebody will come up with a desire to move some legislation forward, and in my heart of hearts, knowing what I have known and what I've researched and the data I have in front of me, I can't support it. But as a courtesy to that colleague, when they say, well, can we just ask staff to come back with information? I do that because unless I am just so vehemently opposed I don't even want it to come back, I do that as a courtesy, but that doesn't mean support. I've said that clearly. Based on the financial crisis we're in today and stripping away any kind of a religious commitment or opposition, this is not about that. This is about removing a policy that will allow any commissioner to ask Ms. Bean for information and she will provide it. I would have to disagree with perhaps a position that this is going to cost us money just simply to bring us information. I don't think so. I think Ms. Swanson has information. I just want to have him have the opportunity to bring it back. And that being said, though, unless there's something that's so overwhelmingly convincing, I, like you and like many of my colleagues here, could not support any more benefits at this time. That's why I'm saying, on policy making, I agree with him. On timing, it is atrocious. But he is simply separating his two likes and dislikes, wishes and requests. I am simply affording him the opportunity to bring a motion to us that says we have the right to open any conversation that we want about that particular issue, and for that matter, any policy and any motion that anyone has made in the past, to simply re-review it. That's the extent of my commitment to Mr. Beckner. I'm no more excited than anybody here that we've had to have this conversation now when we have so many other issues that we have to deal with from the financial standpoint. But it is what it is. He's brought it up because he has stripped away perhaps some of the details that he may or may not have wanted to include, and I could not support them with those attachments. That's the reason I'm supporting it. Just simply afford him the opportunity to discuss it without any constraints.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. No further comment. Please record your vote on the motion.
The motion failed 2-5. Commissioners Hagan, Higginbotham, Norman, Sharp, and White voted no.
Okay, thank you. We have a 10:30 time certain.